In this lesson, we'll look at rotary position drilling and tapping. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to use tool orientation and create drilling and tapping operations. In Fusion 360, we want to carry on with our 3+1 dataset. We've already created a 2D pocket and a 2D contour for one of the positions. Now that we have this information created, we want to use it to create drilling and tapping operations for that same hole. So I want to make sure that I repurpose this information, and in this case, the tool orientation specifically. So I'm going to start by taking my 2D contour, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to create a derived operation. We're going to use drilling and select drill. First, we need to select an appropriate tool. We're going to go to our multi-axis library and select tool number 1, which is a spot drill. We'll use it with aluminum finishing data, and then we'll move on to our geometry. In this case, our tool orientation is still correct. You can see that the Z coordinate system is pointing through the hole. But because we went from a 2D contour operation to a drilling operation, the selection was automatically removed. We can select based on faces, or we can use selected points or a diameter range. We want to avoid using a diameter range because it'll grab all the holes on the part. So in this instance, we'll use the selected face option. From the heights, we need to make some adjustments because we're going to start by spot drilling, and we don't want the tool to go all the way into the part. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using the whole bottom for the bottom height, I'm going to use the whole top, and I'm going to say drill tip through bottom. This will allow me to use the spot drill to simply go in and center on that hole. The cycle will automatically be drilling and wrap it out, and we'll carry on using that as the option. Now we've got our spot drill position. I can right click, and instead of creating a derive, I can simply duplicate this operation. The duplicate will have all the exact same settings, so I simply need to go in and make some edits. This is a 1/4 hole, so we'll start by selecting a number 7 drill, which is a 0.201. For our geometry, everything is still the same because we selected the whole face, but now for heights, the bottom is going to be the whole bottom. In this case, we want the drill tip to go through, but we might want a little additional clearance. So I'm going to add an additional 0.1. For our cycle, instead of using drilling and wrap it out, we're going to allow it to do a chip breaking cycle, which will allow it to make small incremental depth changes, and then it'll retract slightly to help clear out some of the chips. We'll say OK, and now we've created that drilling operation. The last thing that we need to do is tap the hole. So once again, I'll duplicate the operation, and then I'll edit. Instead of using our drill bit, now we want to go to our multi-axis library, and we want to select our 1/4 tap. When we do that, the hole is still going to be the same, but I want to go to our cycle and make sure that I'm using a tapping cycle. It's going to be important that we use a tapping cycle because it's going to reduce the feed rate, and also it'll reverse back out of the hole. So now we've created our spot drilling operation, our chip breaking operation, and our tapping operation. So all of these have been done using a 3+1 or a 4-axis positioning type of operation. From here, let's make sure that we save this before moving on to the next step.